Assalamu alaikum. Somehow I am so excited to be doing today's lesson. Don't quite know why. Well, I'm sort of always excited to be recording these lessons that I know my students are going to watch later on and be benefiting from them. So we are let's see what we are planning to do today. For the quantitative section, we are going to be covering the topic of sequences and patterns. And for the verbal part, we're going to continue our practice with on the sentence completion questions. I know by now you might have, already mastered the sentence completion, but because the sentence completion questions are so easy, and that's really some place that you could score for the GAT, we're going to be continuing with our practice, and don't be careless about it, because those sentence completion questions are like bonus questions in the GAT, so might as well get them right. Let's start with the quantitative section. We're going to be looking at about 20 questions from sequences and patterns. If you've done sequences at school, most probably from your algebra book, this is sort of different, because if you've done it at school, it's probably it's categorized into two sequences, types of series, the arithmetic and the the arithmetic and the geometric. I was going to say arithmetic and verbal. GAT not going out of head. So normally you would have arithmetic and geometric series, but these sequences that we're going to be covering for the GAT are much easier, because the questions that come up in the GAT are much easier. The only thing we need to do is either something's becoming smaller or something's becoming bigger, like a sequence is either getting smaller or it's getting bigger, and then if it's getting smaller, we check like is it division or is it subtraction. If it's getting bigger, we check is it addition or multiplication. Sometimes it's just random patterns, like hey, the 21 is coming up every third term, so forth. Anyhow, we'll discuss it when it comes up. Let's take a look at the first one. Look at this series. So we're looking at 2, 1, half, and a quarter. What number should come up next? 2 became 1. 2 became 1, 1 became a half became 1/4. So any idea what's going on over here? Do you see that we are constantly dividing by 2? 2 divided by 2 gives you 1. 1 divided by 2 gives you a half. Half divided by 2 gives you a quarter. Half divided by 2 is the same thing as half times 1 over 2. Remember in fractions we flip over the second fraction, so I flipped it over and I get a quarter. So naturally what I'm expected to do is divide this again by a 2. So a quarter divided by a 2, there's a 1 over here, so I flip the second fraction and I end up getting 1 over 4 times 2, 8. Answer. So if you notice, it's quite easy. See, this topic is very easy. Maybe that's why I'm excited, because I know everyone's going to get it 100%. Let's take a look at the next one. Look at this series. What number should come next? So what's happening? 7, 10 increased, 8 decreased, 11 increased again, 9 decreased, increased. So it's like an alternating series. There's an increase and a decrease. But if you pay closer attention, you will pick something. 10, 11, 12. Do you see? 7, 8, 9. Should be a 10, right? 7, 8, 9, 10. And over here I've got a 10, 11, 12, 13. So these are like two series meshed up together. So the number that comes up is a 10. Did you see, like, if you've done sequences and series at school, these questions have nothing to do with them. They're pretty much like common sense, and you to be able to pick up a pattern. Let's go to the next one. Look at this series. What number should come next? So I'm looking at the series and I'm looking 36, 34, 30, 28, 24. Do you see a decrease? It's decreasing, right? So I'm trying to pick, it would either be division or subtraction or some random pattern. Just randomly add to something. Over here, I can tell that this is a -2, then there's a -4, then there's a -2 again, and then there's a -4, so I should carry on the pattern with a -2. So it's 24, take away 2, that would give me a 22. That's my answer. Quite easy, isn't it? Let's take a look at the next one, question number 4. I hope you, now that you've got the hang of it, I hope you are giving it a try before you look at my workout, so we know exactly where you are and how much more focus, or not focus, you are expected to do for the rest of the lesson. So make sure you attempt the questions by yourself before you take a look at the workout. Next question, 22, 21, decrease, increase, decrease, increase, decrease. So clearly there's like an alternating pattern. So we try and like 21, 22, 23, next would be 24, right? And then if you take a look at the numerator, the other part, not numerator, 22, 23, 24, oh, so this is the pattern. Do you see? 22, 23, 24, the next number has to be a 25. As easy as that. The only objective is to try and pick out the pattern, really. Next, question number 5. Look at the series 53, 53, 40, 40. Oh, so double. 27, 27. Okay, so that's like the same number, and then the same number. So that means 2 of the next upcoming numbers will be exactly the same. What's happening? Clearly, I can tell that they are becoming smaller and smaller. If you take a look at this is a takeaway of 13. 53, the difference between 53 and 40 is a 13. The difference between 27 and 40 is again a 13, so I'm subtracting 13. Naturally, I would subtract another 13 from 27 to get my new answer. So I'm subtracting 13 from 27, that gives me a 14 as an answer. So that should be my next number. Let's take a look at question number 6. Look at the series 21, 9, 21, 11, 21, 13, 21 here. So 21 is repeating. Every second number is 21. What's happening on the other side? 9, 11, 13, 15. So that number has got to be a 15. As easy as that. How about this one? Give it a try. I'm observing that this is a decreasing series, so I'm subtracting 6. And then I didn't subtract. Yes, so 6 again. 6 again, 6 again, so it's got to be -6. So what we're looking at is 34 take away a 6, which would give you a 28 answer. Give this a try. So over here what I have is it's a +1, then I have a +3, then I have a +1, then I have a +3, then I have a +1, then again I should have a +3. 12 plus 3 should give me a 15. That is my answer to this question. Next question. Give it a try before you take a look at my workout. We've got, clearly there's a repeating 8. And then we've got 22 becomes 28. What happened? We added a 6. So we add another 6 to get the next number. 28 and a 6, that's a 34. Next question, number 10. Look at the series 31, 29, 24, 23, 17. So clearly it's decreasing. Decreasing. What kind of an arrow is that? So clearly it's becoming smaller and smaller. I took away 2 from here, then I took away 29, take away 24. The difference between them is a 5. then again it's a 2, then again it's a 5. Okay, so that means -2, -5, -2, -5, -2. So if I'm looking at it, 17 minus 2, that gives me a 15. Answer. Next question, number 11. Look at this series. What number should come up next? Although they are trying to make it look a bit more complicated with the decimals, actually the decimals make no sense in this particular question, because everywhere, I mean, if I can't work with decimals, I could be like, okay, 1.5 to 2.3, what's the difference between them? And then I would start calculating in decimals, but that's a bit difficult for me. So what I am going to do is, I realize that every number has one decimal place, right? So I'll multiply the entire series by a 10, so I get rid of the decimal. I have 15, 23, 31, 39. So you see, we got rid of the decimal, right? And now I just take a look at the series. It's an increasing series. Numbers are increasing. I added an 8 here, and 23 and 81, again an 8, 8, 31 and 39, again an 8, so I add another 8 into 39, and that should give me my new number, 47. And remember, we multiplied it by 10, so we reverse it back, divide by a 10 this time, so we get the decimal back, and that's my answer. So although it looked a bit not so straightforward, but actually it was quite straightforward, right? Let's take a look at the next series, 14, 28, 20, 40, 52, 64. What's happening over here? 14 doubles to give me a 28, I picked that, but then it didn't double from 28 to 20, no it didn't. What happened is, we subtracted an 8. Okay. What happens is that I subtracted an 8. Then do you see that 20 doubled again to give you a 40? Then again, you subtracted an 8. 32 doubles to give you a 64. What am I supposed to do next? Subtract an 8. So what I'm looking at is 64, take away 8, that would give me a 56. Answer. 56. So it's just really a matter of being able to, the pattern click into your mind. That's really it. And because we've got 20 questions for today on this topic, you would get the hang of it, inshallah. Okay, let's take a look at the next one. What's happening? It's an increasing series, but the increases are kind of random because I added 1 here, and 2 here, and then 3, so clearly I'm supposed to add a 4 into the next number. So 207 plus 4 gives me a 211. That's my answer. Next question, number 14. Look at the series. Oh, this is so easy. Even numbers. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. That was a very easy question, straightforward question. Question number 15. Look at this series. What number should come up next? Clearly, I can tell 544, 509, 474. So it's a decreasing series. And then I'll try, because division with huge numbers would be kind of difficult. Plus, I don't recognize any familiar numbers, so all I'm going to try is subtraction. So what's the difference between 509 and 544, 145, and 35? Yeah. What I did was, in my head, I went from here to 600. That's a 1. Then I went from 600 to... Oh, what am I doing? My bad, hold on. From 509 to 510, that's a 1. Then I went from 510, 520, 20, 30, 40, 50. I don't need to go to 50. 20, 30, 40. That's a 30. Then from 540, I went to 544. That's a 4. 1 and 4 together, that's a 5. And then I got the 30, so altogether it's 35. That's how I did it in my head. Next, from 509, 474 to 509. I'll do the exact same thing here. I'm going to do the exact same thing. In my head, what I am doing is... I'm going from 474, so first of all I'd make it to like something easy. That's a 6. 474 to 480 is the difference of 6. Then I go from 480 to, let's say, 500. That's a 20. Then I go from 500 to 509. That's a 9. So 9 and 6 together is a 15, and from here I've got the 20. That's again a 35. So do you pick a pattern like that, adding a 35 every single time? Obviously this workout is going in my head, so it doesn't look as huge. You can do it in split seconds once you've got the hang of it. But I just wrote it down for you to make it clearer and easier to understand. So the difference between them is 35 again. That would definitely be a 35. You can add 35 in here to check if it's true. And then obviously I add another 35. So for 39, I add a 35 into it to be able to get the next number. 7, 4. What did I do? Subtract. We are subtracting. 404. That's my answer. Done. Although they were like bigger numbers this time, but did you see the pattern was so simple? You're subtracting a 35. You're subtracting a 35 every single time. And that's the sequence. Okay, let's move on to the next question. We've got 5 more to go to move to the verbal section. What's happening over here? Do you see 2 series? I see 2 different series. Right? 80, 70, 60, 50, so forth. Then I see another series over here, 10, 15. 10, 15. See a plus 5. Plus 5. That will give you a 20. That's your answer. 20. That's it. Next, question number 17. Look at this series. Okay, what number should come up next? Let's see what's happening. Can you tell? I know this is times 3. I know this is also times 3. 18 times 3, is it 54? Yes. We haven't reached the tables up until 18 yet, but I hope you are keeping up with your tables. So that means we have to multiply 53 over 54. 54 with 3 as well. 3 times 4 is a 12, so the last digit should be a 2. I'm just going to circle this. I don't need to work out everything, because the only place where you have the last digit as 2, because 4 times 3 is a 2, is this one over here, part C. Next question. Look at this series. What number should come next? Again, shall I want to change this to, actually you can do it either ways. If decimals are not so difficult for you, if you can tell this is a minus 0.4, minus 0.4, minus 0.4, then all you need to do is take away 0.4, and that's it, you're done. But if they're not so easy for you, what we're going to do is multiply everything by 10 once again to get rid of the decimal spaces. So 5.2 becomes 52, 4.8 becomes 48, 4.4 becomes 44, 4 times 10 gives me a 40, so what's the next number? Now can you tell that we're subtracting a 4 every time? Take away 4, take away 4, take away 4, that gives you a 36. Yeah? That's the answer. 36, and naturally now you've got to divide by a 10, so that would give you a 3.6, not only a 36. That's it. Next question, question number 19. look at the series 8, 6, 9, 30, 23, 87. The series looks a bit weird because I've got an 8, then I drop to a 9, then I increase again to a drop to a 6, then I increase to a 9, then I increase to 23 and 27. Do you see like there's a random bit to it? What's the 6 doing in here? So it is not a straightforward series question. What they are doing in this particular series is it's a bit weird. So you can it's like 8 times 1 take away 2. So do you see that basically it's like this digit here, hold on, and then you've got the next digit which is a 6, so it's 6 times 1, but this time you're taking off 3. Then you've got the next digit is 9, 9 times 1 again, and you're taking off 4. Then you've got 23, the next digit is 23 times 1, you're taking away 5. I mean, that's the pattern of the sequence because, okay, let's take a look at it again because I know this is a bit different to the other ones, but I thought sometimes they come up, this will be like, this kind of question might not even be there, or even if it's there, it would be, you know, the 5% of questions that, the tough type of question. What they are doing is they're taking the first digit and they're multiplying it by 1. And they are subtracting 2. 8 times 1, 8, take away 2 gives you a 6. Then again, 6, they're multiplying it by 1. 6 times 1, 6. They're taking away a 3. No, actually here. We don't even need this. They are multiplying this by 2. That gives you a 12, right? And then they are subtracting a 3. So that you get a 9. 12 take away 3 is a 9. Then they're multiplying 9 by 3. 9 times 3, 27, and they're taking off a 4. 24 take away 27 take away a 4 is a 23. Then they are multiplying 23. What's the pattern? Do you pick the pattern? Times 1, times 2, times 3. This should be times 4. And what am I supposed to subtract? Subtract 5. So 23 times 4 gives me a 92. I get a 92, and then I subtract 5, 92, and I subtract 5 from it, times I'm getting an 87. I'll continue with the exact same thing. So if you pick from the pattern, what should I multiply it by now? Times 1, 2, 3. I should multiply it by 5. So 87 would be multiplied by 5. And then I should take away, multiply by 5, and I take off 6. Take away 6. So 85 times... So 87 times 5, I'm going to split that into an 80 and a 7. I'll multiply this by 5 and multiply this by 5, and then I'll add them back together. That's a 400, and this is a 35. So I'm looking at 435. Take away a 6 from here, that would give me 429. So that's the answer. Anyways, when a question like the reason I brought this into the topic is because, like I said, most probably the series questions are very easy. Sometimes something weird looking comes up. If that happens, one of the things is, I mean, if it's clicking, it's clicking. If it doesn't click, you are supposed to, within the first 15 seconds of looking at the question, if it doesn't click, you are supposed to maybe make a smart guess, or then move on and come back to it later on. So you're not going to be wasting your time on questions that are looking a bit too complicated, because remember, every question has the equal weightage. So for example, you do a sentence completion question, that would only take you 10 seconds to solve, or a question like this that can take up to 10 minutes if it doesn't click. So questions like these, we are supposed to flag them, move on to the next question, and come back to them later on if needed. I'm talking about the final GAT when you go through that. Okay, enough of this. Let's take a look at the last question. What we've got over here, question number 20, is they want the next 2 digits. So they've given you all up until here, they want the next 2 digits. 2 numbers. If you take a close look, do you see the 21 repeating itself? So after every 2 digits, 2 numbers, 21 repeats itself. 21, 21, 21. Makes sense? So the last digit is 21, so that means I'm either looking at this one here, or I'm looking at this one here. Then let's try and work out the rest of it. I've got 8, 11, that's a plus 3, plus 2. It's not working. Plus 3, plus 3, plus 4, plus 3, plus 4. Yes, it is actually. Here, I added a 3 here, then I added a 4. Then I added a 3, then I added a 4. So I'm supposed to add a 3. That would give me 22, plus 3 gives me a 25. So 25, this is your answer, B. 25 and 21. So here, another one of those questions, it can click. It's way easier than the last question, question number 19, but the only idea is sequence questions are supposed to be very easy. If they click, you'll head. If they don't, you don't want to be wasting time over them, no more than 20 seconds. If it hasn't clicked you, flag the question, move on, and come back to it later on. Now that we are done with the quantitative section, let's move on to the verbal section. What we're doing today is just a very quick, brief review. This is the explanation of this question, by the way. Question number 21. So let's move on to the verbal section. We're very quickly going to be moving over a total of 8 questions for the sentence completion. Just to review them, like I said, I'm sure you've already mastered this part of the GAT. Let's take a look. Question number 1. Fate smiles, dash those who untiringly grapple with stark realities of life. So if you are going through the not so easy realities of life untiringly, so you are a persistent person, this person is persistent, will fate smile with them, over them, on them, around them? Over here, fate smiles means like fate will be soft on them or be with them. So fate smiles on those who untiringly grapple with stark realities of life. Next question. The miser gazed dash at the pile of gold coins in front of him. So this is a miser person, which means loves to collect money and gold, etc. So how would this person gaze at the pile of gold coins in front of him? He can look at it avidly, he can look at it admiringly, thoughtfully, earnestly. Actually, he can look at it in all possible ways. But the one option that suits the most is option A, avidly. Reason being, that means with a lot of enthusiasm and interest. So with a lot of enthusiasm and interest, definitely if the person is sort of miser, he would have a lot of enthusiasm and interest when looking at that heap amount of gold in front of him. So let's go with A. Then question number 3. Catching the earlier train will give us the dash to do some shopping, will give us the chance to do some shopping, will give us the luck to do some shopping. Catching the earlier train will give us the luck to do some shopping doesn't fit at all. Catching the earlier train will give us the possibility to do some shopping. Maybe, but this suits better. Catching the earlier train will give us the occasion to do some shopping. Completely wrong, so we'll go with A. Suits the most. With sentence completion questions, mostly you could just read out the question and it would, you can make sense of it if it suits well or if it doesn't suit well. Next we've got, I saw a dash of cows in the field. A group of cows? Well, okay, a herd of cows. So probably there's more than one cow, so you're looking at a group of cows, but what's a group of cows called? A herd. A group of cows is called a herd, so we would say, I saw a herd of cows in the field. You can use swarm and a flock, but they're used for different animals, not for cows, we use herd. So that was just a vocab question. Question number 5, the grapes are now dash enough to be picked. The grapes are now dash enough to be picked. Ready enough to be picked, maybe mature. Well, we can't use that for fruits. Ripe, advanced. Ripe is the word we use for fruits and vegetables. When something's completely done on the tree to be able to pick it, for fruits and vegetables, we use the word ripe. So the grapes are now ripe enough to be picked. We'll go with ripe, option C. Question number 6, success in this examination depends dash on hard work alone. Success in this examination depends at hard work alone, over hard work alone, for hard work alone, on hard work alone. Success in this examination depends on hard work alone. Makes perfect sense. We'll go with option D. They're not talking about this exam, GAT, it's just a random exam. With GAT, you've got to be smart at the test. You've got to control you can't allow yourself to get nervous, etc. There are many other things to it. We'll go through it in the exam mode. But I just wanted to say it's not just hard work alone, although hard work is quite an important ingredient for anything at all. Next question, question number 7. My uncle decided to take Dash and my sister to the market. Decided to take I and my sister to the market. Decided to take mine and my sister to the market. Decided to take me and my sister to the market. Decided to take myself and my sister to the market. So this is a grammar question. I know maybe most of us are not studying English grammar at school. We did this years ago. But like I said, if you just read out the question and fill in the blank, it would make sense. The question that makes most sense is grammatically correct. So that's how you can check the answer. Question number 8, if you smuggle goods into the city. Smuggle is to take something in that's not allowed. To take in, for example, drugs and those kind of things. So if you smuggle goods into the country, they may be dashed by the customs authorities. Over here, by they are talking about the goods, the things that you are taking. They may be possessed by the customs authority. Possessed is to own something, so not really, they can't be owned. They may be punished by the customs authority. Yes, you might be punished by the customs authority, not the goods. As I said, when saying they may be punished, so it's not the goods or the things that will be punished. Confiscated is the word that we will use here. It looks quite appropriate. They may be confiscated by the customs authority. Confiscated means to take someone's property with authority. So you have the authority to take something of their own from them. So confiscated will work here. They may be confiscated by the customs authority. Fined, maybe, but why did I circle fined? Confiscated is the exact answer. So we're done with today's lesson, and hope everything was okay and clear. If there are any questions or queries, remember to post them below. I'll catch you with tomorrow's lesson. Till then, take care and keep shining.